All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Beetle Show with TMO. I am Tokwe Mark Odige. On this show, we talk about money, we talk about investments, and most importantly, we're trying to drive the message of delayed gratification. So I'd like to welcome every one of you joining us on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you. Whether you're joining us live or you're going to be watching a replay of this is a particular show you don't want to miss. Pay attention all through because it will be loaded with information for you. Can you hear me? I expect so. Now, today's show is a follow-up on last week's show. Last week on the show, we discussed recovery. We discussed the importance of recovery, our ability to bounce back after any form of trauma. Nigeria, and I think the entire world actually has been hit by one trauma from the other all through this year. 2020, for many, has been a traumatic year. The pandemic, the lockdown, businesses model, people have to change their business model, people's finances, people lost their jobs, many things went down for many people. Of course, exceptional stories will still stand out. A few have testimonies of good things happening to them, people that were in the medical sector, people that were in the pharmaceutical sector, and they suddenly became billionaires because all the things they had in their store, their nose mask, became huge value. So this season had a bit of good for some, but bad for many others. And while we pray and applaud and celebrate with those who are having it good, we must also acknowledge those that are not having it so good and who are desirous of recovering. And that's what the show is about. So once again, it's the Beetle Show with TMO, and on the show, we talk about delayed gratification as the core of our message for helping you to plan your finances better. So I have two panelists on the show today. From last week, by popular demand, Michael Onye. Michael is back. Michael, I practiced your name before we went live. Onweluzo. I think I did not do it too bad. Then I have my other here, Mr. Iduakide. Thank you so much for joining. I wanted to bring it in last week, but as it happened, everything happened to bring you here this week. So the real core of our message today is to address, we've spoken about insurance a bit last week, but I was still hearing a lot of people asking me questions about insurance, about how insurance people will not pay you, how they will tell you it's not covered in the fine print, how you get one story or the other concerning insurance. So it was the point where we would address that later. And if you didn't watch last week's show, please scroll down on GTEC's home page on YouTube and on Facebook to watch last week's show. It was really informative because we had a finance coach who came in to break down extensively the importance of financial planning, emergency funds, and all of that. But taking it a bit into the business perspective and how technology can help. I know that is the area Mr. Ido, I think that's like his core. It's how IT and how technology can be deployed to help people recover their loss and bounce back in this time. So please, I'd like you to unmute yourself if you so kindly, and let us hear from you. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Tokwe. So I don't exactly know where to start, but
let's work with the scenario.
Okay.
A lot of businesses have been hit by the pandemic, and while still trying to get things back on ground when the economy opened up, then we started the case of NSAS movement, vandalism, left, right, center. So if someone, a business owner, someone that is looking at the way the economical landscape of Nigeria is right now, is worried about how can I live with technology? My shop has been vandalized, my business isn't doing so well. what are the technological tools that I can use to position my business so that I can still earn money while not suffering the loss, while reducing my losses.
Okay, excellent. So you saw me writing something down. So I was trying to jot down the 5 major steps of any value chain. So um, perhaps if I had a diagram, I could have shared the screen. But every business typically has 5 stages of value creation, aka value chain, from raw materials sourcing, whatever that raw materials in the context of a manufacturing or some kind of production enterprise, and or whatever is the equivalent of raw materials if it's a service environment, it's a service industry and stuff like that, all the way to after sales service. So the first column, the first stage in the traditional generic value chain is inbound logistics. The second stage, let me just run through them so that there's some high level context. The second stage is operations. The third stage is outbound logistics. The fourth is sales and marketing. And the fifth is services. If we think along these lines, if I were to break down your question, I would start to think, how can I apply technology to any of these stages to help me either reduce my costs or shoot my profits up the roof, right? So for the first stage, take that guy that sells asun, right? That guy needs to source the materials for making that product, quote unquote, right? How can he source those materials? That's the value of aggregation platforms like the Jumias, the Kongas, and whatever other niche areas may exist for his type of business. Is there a hub of meat sellers, for his type of service? That will help him. If traditionally he needed to go to the abattoir at Agege, but during a lockdown he couldn't do that, or it was expensive to do that, if there is a technology platform, then he can leverage that to reduce his costs, and stuff like that. That's one. Operations.
That's inbound, Abby.
Yeah, that's inbound logistics. That's the first column. That's inbound.
And for anybody that is trying to source material, you need to find a way where technology will make it easier for you to source material.
Thank you. That's the principle. Thank you. I just used the Asun guy as an example, but the principle is whatever your raw materials are, find a way to use technology to source them, just to reduce your whatever cost you typically deploy to that. The second stage is operations. In this stage, in this particular Asun case, to be fair, I don't know how you can use technology to reduce the cooking time of asun, or the roasting time or whatever you want to call that. But there are many. If we take many other examples, if you think about an HR outsourcing company, I'm sure there are ways that if you think about the operations, you can probably gain significant productivity and time gains by using technology to automate those processes. So again, how would you apply technology to automate your processes by making yourself more efficient? That's the general principle, okay, for the second one. Okay. The third one is outbound logistics, okay? And this is where, if we remember, I don't know if you ever experienced the all-ride, all-food revolution last year.
Yeah.
It was something else. It was something else. I'm sorry to mention people's names there, specific vendor names there, but the Jumias and the Jumia Foods and others in that category were targeting CFC, KFC, the place. So that was they were targeting the middle class, right? All Food thought, what about the Iyasikira and the Iyabasira that are selling amala and ofada rice and all sorts of things? And they brought all these guys onto a platform, and people could. What that did is that Of course, just focusing on the outbound logistics side, what I did was that it helped those guys to sell more and deliver more to customers that didn't even know where they existed. But you could send your office assistant to go and get it for you, and stuff like that. So what I'm saying here is think again, depending on the specifics of the business, about how can you apply technology to help you close the gap between yourself or your office or your production location where your customers are. Closely tied to this is the current influx of logistics companies all over Lagos, and I assume by extension all over Nigeria. I mean, there are all sorts of bikes nowadays, from Go-Karter that has transformed. They're all over the place right now. Yeah. So that's the third, outbound logistics, delivery and fulfillment. You can almost always just, find some number on the internet for a logistics company that will come to your location, pick up your good, deliver it, and you pay them a small nominal fee. That's that. The fourth, sales and marketing. Okay, good. So Mr. Asun has created the best tasting Asun in the world. Is it a passion or is it a business? If you don't market that product, okay, I want to call it a product, he will have to eat that Asun by himself if he doesn't market it, right? So marketing is the lifeblood of any business. Zig Ziglar, the popular sales expert, says the first rule of selling is nothing happens until someone makes a sale, right? So sales and marketing is very important. Again, how can you leverage technology? This is the age of the digital commerce revolution. If you notice what has been happening right now, there is more e-commerce happening on our social platforms than on people's individual websites. So if you've observed recently, you discover that there's more commerce happening off of Instagram, WhatsApp business, and the equivalents in that class of digital social media tools. They started off as social media tools, but they've created such an ecosystem where buyers and sellers can meet each other that the natural offshoot is that people have started to convert them to commerce engines. What that means is that WhatsApp, as I'm speaking to you, is testing WhatsApp Pay, right? The ability to convert every photo that you upload to your WhatsApp for business, to convert it into a product item, so that each item, each photo you uploaded now has a field for you to enter the price and that product details. The moment they've done that, they've taken out Jumia, they've taken out Konga. The moment they do that, and they're testing it right now. So if WhatsApp is doing it, I can tell you that Instagram is thinking about it, right? Or whatever the other competitors in that space is. These are things that small business people should be looking out for. If I'm an Asun seller, I'll be looking at that. If I'm a garment manufacturer, I'm a tailor, I'm a fashion designer, I'll be looking at that. If I sell beads, jewelries, and accessories, I'll be looking at it. If I sell phones and gadgets, I'll be looking at that because it's high visibility, high traffic. So again, that's that's an idea that I would like to suggest for how to use technology to enhance the marketing. Last is after sales service. Traditionally all over the world, there's nothing that drives business growth more than the establishment of a relationship post-sale. No customer likes to be ignored after the sale, and customers reward companies exponentially for cultivating a relationship after the sale. So again, what are those tools that can help you? It would depend largely on the type of business, but the central principle is: are there any digital tools? Is there something? Is there an app? Is there a website? Is there something that can help you maintain a relationship with your customers and continue that relationship? I hope I haven't turned this into a theoretical, thing, but that's the one. Right.
I'm enjoying it. I've been taking notes. Of course, I would want to simplify and create like a practical,
Right.
a practical way. My own understanding of what you said. At the end of the day, we communicate and we hear something different. So my understanding of what you said was in using technology to better our business. You mentioned the 5 things that every business must go through and you spoke about the inbound, and you said that in plain terms, every business must consider sourcing raw materials and using technology to source the raw materials cheaper. For someone in the HR, your raw materials are the human beings you are deploying around. So if you're able to get cheap labor as an HR company, you are you are able to use technology to get the laborers. You are able to use technology. But as you were saying it doesn't mean that you might be in a business. You might be in a business that there is no technological platform that is solving sourcing raw materials.
Okay.
You understand? There's no business providing raw materials to the industry. That is a loophole you can fix in. So we were saying the ASU person cannot get meat via technology. But the ASU person that realizes that a problem can develop a software or develop a social media page that helps people to source meat at a very affordable rate. So thereby producing raw materials for all people that are in the industry at the same time. And I think that can be a pivot for many businesses that are struggling because they don't know what to do. They can now be in the same industry but change where they are playing in the industry. From rendering service to providing the raw materials for the service.
Precisely.
That can be very, very useful.
Precisely.
Another thing you mentioned was reducing cost of operation through technology. And I wanted us to dig a bit deeper into it and see if we can get more practical about how to use technology to reduce the cost of operation. One of the things we've learned during the pandemic was that we can have Zoom meetings. You don't need to, I'm doing a TV show here at the studio. I don't need to bring Mr. Idowu and bring Mr. Michael all the way to Omole for us to shoot. That is a way of reducing the cost of operation by using Zoom. All of us can connect together and reduce the cost of transportation and all of that. But I'm sure there are other areas that we can reduce cost of operation, maybe in finance. So I'd like you to share a few. I know you are into, all these applications I've not heard of. And you might be able to share a few of these applications that help business owners reduce their everyday cost of operation. I can tell you for a fact, my husband, during this lockdown, he realized that he did not need that much staff because you can do your work without having too many people in your office. Everybody can work from there. We all started seeing opportunities where we don't see it before. Same way we can realize that, oh wow, this can be a tool. I think it can be a tool. So what are the technologies that we can use to reduce operations? And let's make the example as generic as possible so that it will be applicable to multiple businesses from accounting software to all of that.
Okay. Excellent. Good question. Thank you for bringing me back to it. Regardless of industry, regardless of sector, there are certain things that are universal, universal operational costs for every business. Take your HR, take your finance, take your legal. So let's just use those three as an example. Every business has people, therefore people must be managed. Every business manages the flow of money, therefore money must be managed, aka accountancy. Every business enters into agreements with third parties, partners, clients, like so. Legal must be managed. Traditionally, even before the pandemic, traditionally, we would set up semi-manual or 100% manual relationships where we have an accountant, perhaps paid full-time or, paid in some capacity. If you take that finance and accounting function alone, there are a number of tools that help us, that help business owners that have taken it upon themselves. There are a number of startups, global startups, some of them Nigerian, some of them global, that have taken it upon themselves to abstract a way to simplify the entire process of accounting, such that a tech geek itself that nothing about finance numbers does not have to employ an accountant in-house. I subscribe to this service. Some of them are free. Some of them cost something affordable. I don't think that, I know of one, for instance, I forget their name now, but the subscription per month is about 15,000 naira per month, and they will handle your finance and your HR for you. They're a Nigerian startup, and perhaps after this call or when someone else is talking, I'll do the research and find their name for you. So that's the kind of tool that I'm talking about. Some of the other foreign ones that may not be locally customized are free, but for that local customization to the laws of Nigeria, the labor laws of Nigeria, the understanding of the local terrain, at least there are consultants, there are HR consultants that you just pay, a tiny fraction of the fee. Again, don't forget that these guys are also using technology to automate their operations backend. So like you said, for your husband's staff, everybody can do their work from home. So many of these guys too, so it's a universal technology optimization, if I may use that word. And the same thing goes for legal. You can outsource the services, and for every time that a lawyer would have printed a document for you to review, you can do all of these things via digital platforms. You can send it on WhatsApp, you can send it by email, and there are even digital signature tools now. DocuSign is a popular one that I use a lot. There's DocSend, there's PDF Sign that can help you attach digital signatures to legal agreements, and they're just as legally binding. Did I answer the question?
Interesting. Yeah. I one of the things that I've also noticed during dividends of pandemic, we were forced to embrace technology. Whether most people were a bit reluctant in the beginning, but even parents that were complaining, everybody now is doing online school, all of that. So obviously, we must find a way to leverage technology to reduce operational costs, because that way you can reduce what your expenditure is. Now, I like the examples of delivery. Delivery went boom in the lockdown. Everybody now owns a delivery bike. They are everywhere. Even the state government decided to impose regulatory fees on delivery vehicles to bring this. Since they were seeing bikes everywhere, I know Lagos State created one, a system to make more money using bikes. That's the only way I can call it, but it's all good. Moving into sales and marketing, I want you to, I know that it will be a bit, we can't really dig deep into it as much. They will need to consult you or other business executives, business consultants paid for to help them. But there are some people that will learn from this conversation and will be able to get practical, valuable tools to help their business. So, sales and marketing. I know you said this thing about WhatsApp. WhatsApp is huge. Social commerce is big. I literally buy a lot of things on Instagram. I'm shopping. I shop on Instagram. I shop virtually my hair products, my skincare products. If I want to eat, I even go on Instagram and check inspirations for food that I want to eat. So I realize that if many people are making purchases off Instagram, it means there is a lot of money to be made from that platform. What are other tools that can aid marketing? What are other technological tools that will aid marketing that you think people are not looking into and they should focus on it?
Okay. So if you observe,
funnel system.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so if you think about it deeply, the social commerce is a no-brainer for what you might call visual products and services, visual goods and services. So beauty products, things that have things that can be easily sold through visuals, right? You take a picture of that particular product, and you can sell it. Yes, you can find one or two non-visual things. You can find a fumigator, you can find some kind of service provider, but that's not the large bulk of the commerce that happens in the social space. For those things that are not 100% designed or suitable for social media spaces, there are also digital tools or electronic tools or digital tools that people can use to aid them with their, first of all, marketing, which is market segmentation, market research, enabling a deeper understanding of their markets, and then their sales, which is, consummating the sales. So if you take marketing, for instance, this is where digital marketing comes into play. The experts, depending on the kind of business, are you like we said earlier, are you a consulting business? Are you a business that does business plans, market research, viability research for other businesses? Most likely, it may be a bit tough to sell your business in the social space, but you can use digital tools that expert digital marketers can help you with. Some of them are CRM tools, customer relationship management tools, to specifically target Facebook ads, Google ads, to specifically target segments of the digital space. So you can go to Google ads or Facebook ads, for instance, and use their filters to filter out say Nigerians, for instance, or people whose location is set to Nigeria. Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, that's location. Then you move to gender, male and female. Then you used to move to age group. And you can say this particular product is targeted to 25 to 50. And then you can set that age range, and you can set a lot of other things. I think that with the latest versions of Facebook, you can set things like political dispensation. Is the person moderate? Are they liberal? So it's that. Now, if those things are a bit advanced, right, for this business owner, they can reach out for help. They can reach out to people like us for help. But by and large, these tools are available for specifically targeting specific segments of the market that have a high probability of buying your product. When you then market to them, so those are things that can help you market to them. Then you then drive them to a place where they can consummate the sale, where they can put in their card details, pay, or indicate interest and send you a payment by bank detail. There's a reason why Stripe paid $200 million to acquire Paystack. That's because depending on who you speak to, people have estimated that the size of the Nigerian payment space, the size of the undigitized Nigerian payment space is about $935 billion. Some people have estimated, okay?
Wow.
So for because if you think about it, Stripe would have calculated Paystack one player. What if that is Stripe's competitors come out and buy 5 more of Paystack's competitors? Is 200 million still a viable amount to pay? And they thought it was, because the market is huge. Let's not talk about, first of all, the banked who are not always paying digitally for what they can pay for, and then the huge mass of people who are currently unbanked. So not to digress, the point is to enable people to be able to pay. So right now, Paystack, I'm doing cheap marketing for them. Paystack enables you as a merchant, as a business owner, to go to their website, subscribe, and they give you a link, a simple link. Put that link under your WhatsApp product detail. And anybody around the world using either a Visa, MasterCard, Nigerian local card can send money to your account. End of story. Simplified payments, So I think that's how answer that question.
I'm their customer, so I appreciate the ease with which they make my life. Like I on Facebook, yeah. I've done the webinars, and I just put on Paystack, and I created a landing page with MailChimp. So if you go to my link in bio, you will see a landing page. On the landing page, you click on any of my products or my courses, it will take you to Paystack. You pay from Paystack. I get notification you have paid, and then I send you an email with the Zoom link, and you watch the program. And that's how I have individually used technology to make my course easy. So I really think that many people need to do more research. People need to read. People need to study, Google, research what is the latest technology offering that will make your life easy and will solve specific problems for you. And of course, consult. We don't like paying for consultants in Nigeria, which is really bad. We just feel like we can stumble our way through it. And I honestly believe it is really bad because it will take you 3 months to 1 year to figure something out. When if you pay the consultant, you get it in like a week or in 2 weeks.
Or less.
So we must buy knowledge. Moving into insurance, how you on your perspective on insurance? I've never discussed insurance with you. I don't know what your perspective is, but I like having you here so that you can puncture whatever Michael is a marketer, is a marketing guru. There's
Okay.
nothing he hasn't done to get me to commit to another kind of life insurance. Well done. Um, Michael, what I have heard, and after we had our PA, somebody came to meet me and sent me a DM that even if you are done insurance, don't feel bad. Doctor, don't feel bad that you did not do, you didn't insure your car or your tools. Because even if you are done insurance, they won't have covered it for you because it's not covered in comprehensive insurance. They would have told you this is not under your coverage. So now, why, what are the, and then somebody also reached out to me for you to know how serious this matter is. Somebody reached out to me that I'm an insurance broker. Don't talk to an insurance marketer from the company. They will not give you the full picture. Talk to an insurance broker to help you secure your insurance package. So now, what's the difference between an insurance marketer and an insurance broker? Start from there, Michael.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. It's nice to be here again. I love hearing that discussion when they say what's the difference
Michael?
between an insurance marketer and an insurance broker, because I think I lost the group life of TVC because TVC decided to give it to an insurance broker, and they left. They didn't want to do it an insurance marketer, so I will forgive them though. But the truth is, insurance brokers are just the same thing with insurance marketers. It's just that as a broker, you can take your business to any company, and as a marketer, you have decided to tie down your relationship with one company. That's just it. So when they say a broker, brokers they say brokers can fight for people. I tell people nobody can fight for you more than your insurance agent, your insurance marketer that is close to you, that knows you from the scratch. And uh, when I see insurance brokers that go out there and try to rubbish insurance marketers, I just laugh at them because with what they don't realize that all insurance people are still the same. We are still selling the same product. We are still going about doing the same job. Whatever I will give somebody, my document and the document they'll give that person, there is no difference. It is the same terms and condition in both documents. So if only the person goes through it, the person will understand it in and out. Now, let me come down to that one that you said if your car was caught up, if your car was damaged in this whole scenario, insurance companies will come up with different claims. If you can remember what we were talking about your car, I gave you different percent rate of what you should use for your car insurance. I said we can do 4%, we could do 3%, we could do 2.5. And why I put out all those rates is because I'm sure you will meet other people too that will give you lesser rates. So that's why I took my time to try and break it down to you. That with 4%, you're getting a full cover of your car, meaning I'm adding both flood extension, both civil riot and civil commotion. I'm adding natural disaster. I'm adding everything to your car. With 3%, I will definitely be removing the flood. So in case flood is the one that damaged your car, you actually take care of your car by yourself. But that 3% still covers you with civil riot and civil commotion, natural disaster, and any other thing. The only thing that will be missing there is just flood. But you see, today, I can tell you that even in, let me not call companies name, you see that people are still giving people at 2%, 2.5%. And they tell you, oh, don't worry, it's the same cover, take it. But it's when claim occurs that you now know it is actually not the same cover. The other time when I had lots of clients in Ethel, Banana Island, what happened was the insurance company they were using then, they were giving them 2%. I kept on saying, I'll do at 3%. I will not do 2% because we don't know what can happen. And that was like 5, 6 years ago. I don't know if you remember, there was something that happened on Third Mainland Beach that all these banners on the poles were falling down. The storm was really crazy that rainy season. So it actually destroyed some cars' windscreen. And what they told them was that's a natural disaster because for that. It's actually the storm that caused it. So that their coverage was not under that coverage. And unfortunately, my own client was affected, and I told him, oh no, you did 3% to me. We cover you for natural disaster. You cover, and we paid him. So with that, he was using that to leverage on other people. So please do mutual, forget this one, and I got some free clients from them. So now the thing is,
My, wait, I'm struggling to hear. Your audio seems to be going lower and lower. I'm really struggling to hear you, and you are making a lot of sense. So I think closer to you so that I can hear you better, please.
okay, where did you lose me at? So that I'll go back from
So
there.
continue.
Okay, fine. So basically, what I'm just trying to say.
Let me just do let me just quickly do a recap so that because a lot of people might not have heard you well. You said that all car insurance look like they're the same thing, but there's 2%, 3%, 4%, and they give you different covers. And that is the same thing from an insurance broker and an insurance marketer. Then you now want to show the Banana Island clients and how the poles, natural storm made some poles on third mainland fall on the car, damaged the car, and they did not give them coverage because they said it was natural disaster, and natural disaster wasn't covered in their insurance plan. Continue.
Okay, so now the thing is, because we have lots of insurance companies in Nigeria, and we have lots of insurance marketers. So you see, clients always have options. So without options, they want to go for the cheapest amount, not wanting to know the benefits of going for the one with the high with the right amount. And when you try to convince them about yours, they keep on telling you, forget, it's insurance. There's nothing that's going to come out of this. I'm just doing this because I want to do it. Forget, I will not get this money back. People are just making money. They keep on looking at it that the insurance company has one making money. But like this scenario, that what happened recently, it has taught a whole lot of people a whole lot of ways of doing things. I saw a young girl that just started up business in Lorry, and the girl came online. I was crying that she lost over 5 million. I was looking, where would that girl start from? But I'm sure maybe if an insurance person had met her, she would not look at insurance as something she really needs. I was listening to Mr. Idowu talking about starting your business, input, output. It was making so much sense. Even me that I'm diversing into business a little bit. I'm actually gaining a lot from listening to him. But I can tell you, for my wife's little shop, as small as the shop is, we do a turnover of like 5 million in a month. It has a fire and burglary insurance. I don't do it because I feel, nothing will happen here. It's directly opposite the police station. But what if it happens? What will I say? Can I get 5 million right now to start up that business again? So, people need to understand that insurance is something that when you actually need it, it might not be there for you. Because when it was actually coming to you, you're just rejecting it, just throwing it away. That I actually don't need this thing. It's not part of my budget. I'll get a 10 million naira car, and I'll look at 4% of the value of that 10 million naira car to do a car insurance as being not important. And I keep on wondering, how can you save up 10 million to buy a car and look at 4% of that value, 400K, as being too much for you to pay, or not important for you to pay for that car? Or I have a shop and the goods of my shop are over 50 million or 20 million. And somebody is telling me just pay as low as 0.5% to give you fire and burglary insurance. And you're looking at it that, well, I don't need it. I want to make maximum profit of everything. Insurance is actually something very, very minute that, sometimes I like when I meet clients that will tell me, really, this cheap? I'm really happy meeting those kind of clients. Not the ones that will say, oh, forget, I saw it cheaper somewhere else. Why is your own that expensive? Not knowing that when it comes to term of claims, that is when you will now start asking that, oh, you did not tell me this, you did not, and the person says, oh, you didn't include it, you didn't tell me you wanted it. It will not be a problem of the marketer or the agent and the client. And that's why they say when you want to deceive a black man, put it in writing that he will never read it. But I can tell you, my number of years in the industry and number of clients I've had, I've not seen one of my clients come and say, oh, Michael sold him or her a wrong policy. Because I'll give you all the different options and the benefits for you to understand what you are going into. And that's how I also train my marketers. I make them know it's not about getting the business. It's about making the client understand. So even the client does not go with you and he goes with somebody else, any day something happens and that person starts saying so, you will be the first person on the client's mind that, oh, Michael said this, so I would have just gone with Michael. I don't know why I went with that. So if we say
Michael,
insurance will not pay. Yeah.
You've identified something that we overlook, that when we are making this bargain, you've highlighted how sometimes our search for a bargain ends up reducing the quality of cover we are getting on our insurance. And I think it is important that you highlighted that, because many Nigerians, I'm an Ijebu girl. I carry it on my head. I tell everybody, I look for where I can get the best deal. I'm the kind of person that would see a tin of milk or 2 tins of milk, and I will check how much, and I'll check the weight of the milk sachet. So I'm sure that the weight corresponds with the. So and because of that, I tend to see the same thing with insurance. Like, okay, what's the percentage? What's the cover I'm getting? But with this explanation, I'm understanding that the coverage I'm getting will be more based on the amount of the percentage I'm paying. So that's one good one. Now, you already mentioned one. You said fire and burglary. I want you to give me 3 core, and I want to take notes. So I'm going to write this down. 3 core business insurance that every business must take.
Okay. Number one, every business person should get the fire and special peril. Your fire and special peril covers you for if fire occurs, or even if the fire occurs as a result of riots. Like if a building has fire and special peril, fire was maybe it was caused by maybe an electrical spark in the building. Special peril is like maybe flood, lightning, or like the true fire bomb into a building and it burns down. Then you are covered by the insurance company. That's fire and special peril. Now, in terms of burglary, when a business person should have a burglary insurance on his or her building or business abode. But now, when you do that, you don't just leave it at burglary alone. You now buy an extension of civil riot, SS strike riot, and civil commotion. Meaning, if you just buy burglary and anything happens, of course you'll be back to zero again because you're not covered. Are you there?
I'm here. I
Hello.
want just hold on for me. I want to hear you.
Okay.
Let me hear you. You said, let me just, okay. My first note was you said fire and peril. You
Fire
said
and
that
special
fire
peril.
and peril. Then you were talking about burglary. Is
Yes.
it different from the special peril?
Yes, it's different. So now, I don't know. Should I be telling you the rates on all this when I'm saying it?
I think let's run through it first. Let's run through it first.
Okay. So now for the burglary, when you have the burglary, once you take the burglary insurance, that's in case of your shop is burgled when you're not there or something happens and it's burgled. That's burglary. But now you should not just take just burglary. Also add strike, riot, and civil commotion. It's an extension on burglary insurance. So just a little extension when you take a burglary insurance.
Burglary will not cover strike and civil commotion.
Ordinary burglary does not cover strike, riot, and civil commotion.
But it's still burglary now. They still came to burgle the place now.
Yes, they came to burgle, but what was the circumstance why they came to burgle? Was it that it was what caused them to come and burgle the shop? It was because of the riot or because of the civil commotion. So that's why it's an extension. When I'm doing my burglary insurance, I need to buy extension of strike, riot, or civil commotion. It must be under my burglary plan. You know that why you have fire. There's just normal fire. But remember, I said fire and special peril. So this was I should have said burglary and special peril, but I'm just trying to break it down that the strike, riot, civil commotion must be under the burglary insurance.
Just for explanation purposes, explain to me if we're doing burglary alone, what's the percentage?
If you're doing burglary alone, it's just 0.25.
Okay.
0.25 the value of the properties in the shop.
But if you add strike, riot, and civil commotion, what does it become?
Now, what you just be paying is whatever that 0.25 gives you, 10% of it will just add to it. Let me make it simple for you. In plain terms, let me make it simple for you. Let's say my 0.25 amounts to 400,000. So I'm meant to pay you 400,000. I'll now add 10% of that 400,000, which is 40,000. So that is 440,000 instead of 400,000.
Okay. This is where you could start confusing somebody. What's the third insurance cover that you would advise any business owner to have?
Now, as a business owner, after you have done your fire insurance, you've done your burglar insurance, I also advise you start up, will I say, a compulsory savings for your investment or your business. Because first of all, whether you like it or not, that all those things you're doing, you need to see profit in so and so number of years. Like somebody starts up a business, he might give himself, in the next 5 years, I want to see maximum profit of this business I've gone into. Now you might not really see that if you're plunging in both the capital and profit back into it. So you can say, okay, on a monthly basis, I'm trying to cut out so and so X amount from everything I sell off or everything that comes from this business. I cut out this and put it into X and so accounts. Now that gives you like a backup plan that, okay, in the next 5 years, even if even if I don't really get all those profits from what I'm seeing, I know there's something that is going to mature that will be coming to me as a bulk sum, which I can still use and plunk back into business and see where we're going in that 5 years. I don't even clear.
100%, I get you.
Okay.
So it's like
Then
a special business for expansion or for any other thing you want to do. Like this is what I invested in starting this business. I'm giving myself
yes,
5 years to get it back. So I
yes,
open a special insurance savings account. It will help me keep the money, right?
yeah. Then one other one that is very important is what we call key man insurance. Uh, Let me break down the key man insurance. Depending on the kind of business, it's not. Are you with me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, depending on the kind of business, key man insurance. Now, what does that key man insurance do? So now, let's say Mr. Michael takes up, goes to the bank, because it's not every business that you start up with your personal capital. Lots of business you start up with bank loans or you collect a loan from someone or somewhere and everything. So now, let's say Mr. Michael wants to start up a business of 40 million, and I go to the bank and I collect the loan of 40 million from the bank, and I make them realize that in under 10 years I'm going to pay back this loan. Now, because I'm the CEO of that business and I'm the key person of that business, I know, yes, if anything goes wrong, if anything goes wrong to me, the business will go sour. So now, because I don't want the bank to at any point come and stop the growth of this business or come and start disturbing my family for the loan that I took if I'm not there, I take what I call a key man assurance. A key man assurance is just like doing paying a little premium over myself. Like I can give myself a little amount, like I pay 2% of the value, cover myself. What does it mean? It means if anything happens to me as the key person of that business, that amount, that set sum assured I was targeting is paid to either my family or the bank, whoever I took the loan from, or whoever I put as my trustee that would keep on running the business for me. I don't know you get me.
I get it. I've never heard of it before, and I think it is a really, really smart move. It makes a lot of sense. So I'm happy about that. I've never heard of it before. But last week you mentioned property. Is it if I've already insured my business against fire, burglary, civil unrest, and whatever peril, do I still need to insure specific properties like maybe okay, so I'm in the studio right now. Where I am, there's lights, that like two cameras, there's another light here. If I've already insured this building against burglary and all of that, do I still need to insure my camera specifically and insure my light specifically?
Now, when you say fire and burglary insurance, against what? Because if you're doing fire and burglary insurance, it's not just against the building, it's against things in the building. With the building, the building is there, then also things in the building. You're going to list out, like for your studio now, you can't just say, I want to just cover just the studio, fire and burglary, because armed robbers can't come and steal the studio. They can steal things in the studio. So fire and burglary will be you're covering both the studio lightning, everything you have in the studio. That's what you're going to be covering. So you will be the one that will give it to us. You will not miss out anything. If it's the price of the camera, the price of the lenses, the price of the lightning, the chairs, the ACs, everything. You will list out everything. So that's what we will now once a year.
Let me ask, what would be termed a silly question, but it can happen. So my camera was in my car when it got burned. So let's just say that maybe I had insured my camera under fire and burglary in my studio, but the camera now got burnt in my car. Would I be able to get my claim insurance since it didn't get burnt in the studio?
100%. So far, that camera was under the list of what. So what would have happened is that we would just pay for the camera and insure the car.
Oh, the network is bad. Michael, I can't hear you. The network is bad. Can you come again, please?
Are you hearing me now? Hello,
Yes,
are you there?
I heard you. Yes.
I should go ahead.
Yes, please.
Okay, I said what would that camera 100%. But what we will not do is pay for the car because the car was not insured. So just the camera that was insured will be what we'll pay for. It doesn't matter where it happens because it has already for property.
We're having network issues. I don't know why. I'm so sorry, Michael. Ooh. Michael, I can't hear you.
Wow.
Oh,
Up till now, are you still hearing me
this is
now?
technology.
We have a long way to
Yes,
go
I'm
with our
hearing you now.
technology. Okay, so I said the camera will be fully paid for 100%. Did you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, I heard you. Um, I heard you, but I'm not hearing anything. Okay. Um, I always enjoy my session with Michael. I really do because it's always extremely informative. So accurately, anything you insure, whether you insure it in the building, as long as it's listed among things you have insured, you can call for your claim on it. Another thing that I've learned a lot actually within the course of this show on recovery. Um, but as it is right now, I can't hear Michael. I think there's a network issue, and the communication has been fruitful so far for many of you. You've watched, you've learned, and I want to appreciate you for your time. I want you to put it in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube. What have you learned? What was new that you learned? Whose session just dropped something hot in your mind? And we spent an hour already, actually. We really have. What I'm going to just do is, I want you to understand that the reason I'm doing this program, the core of this program is to teach you about investment. But in the past 2 weeks, many people have been shaking a bit. So this is supposed to help us to plan effectively towards recovery, while at the same time giving you value, which is one of our core guiding values on this show is to ensure that we are helping you to grow. It's my core value is to help you. So I'm sure you've learned something from this entire show today. And believe me, it goes beyond you just learning and listening. It goes to you doing. Even though you think there might not be any more riots or any more fire or any more disaster, get insurance. Even if you feel like your business wasn't affected by the pandemic or all that happened, go and get yourself, evaluate your business, your inflow, your outflow, your operations, your sales and marketing, your after sales service, and ask yourself, is there any way technology can make my business better? And then start looking for technological solutions that would help you. Reach out to consultants like Ivy, who are my guest on the show. And if you're looking for insurance, reach out to myself to help you. Now, if you are looking for real estate, if you are looking for real estate, you're looking for properties to invest into, reach out to me. I have on GTEX Homes, we have lots of estates. We have Real 2, we have Sedios, we have White House in Otta, and we have Sapphire Estate. These are estates that I believe you should invest in. From as little as 2 million naira, you can secure a plot of land in Lagos. In Lagos, and I think it is very, very important. It's one of the things that I cannot burn your land. They cannot boggle your land. They cannot steal your land. And it is very important that we invest wisely with what we have and diversify our portfolio. So you put some money in business, at the same time you put some money into insurance, you put some money in other investments, in stock. Yes, so I'm back. Can you hear me? Okay. So you put your money in different areas to ensure that you're a bit safe. So when something hits, you have funds around. And one of the key things I learned today is the key man insurance. I think it's something every CEO should look into doing. I think every CEO should have a key man insurance because we all take risk in setting up a business, and the risk can be for our life and put our family at risk. So it's important we take a key man insurance. If you've not heard of it before, say thank you to Michael and say thank you to PMO for bringing you that information. More importantly, ensure you reach out to Michael. She's a mutual benefit and can help you get the best deals on insurance. If you want Michael's contact, send me a message. I'll give you Michael's phone number because Michael has been my guy for about 8 years now, and 7 years now. We've come a long way and we're grateful to God for growth so far. So guys, thank you all so much for your time. Thank you for investing in yourself this time with me. Michael, thank you so much for coming again. I really appreciate you. Thanks for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. Thank you to Mr. Iduwakinde. I really appreciate you. He has to run off at 5 o'clock, get another meeting, but we got a lot of value from him in the time he spent with us. So thank you all so much for watching from whatever platform you're watching us from. Don't forget, I'm sure you learned a lot from this program. Share so that all your friends can watch again and learn. Most importantly, if you suffered any loss, just keep calm. In due time, in a short while, you will recover. Thank you all. Bye.